Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new expressions you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, make yourself at home. This phrase is something we say when we want someone to feel comfortable and relaxed in our house or space. It means act like you're in your own home, or don't be shy, just relax and be comfortable. We use this expression when we're being hospitable and want our guests to feel welcome. This phrase comes from the idea that when you're in your own home, you feel totally comfortable. You can sit wherever you want, grab something from the fridge, or take off your shoes. So when we tell someone to make yourself at home, we're giving them permission to be that comfortable in our space. Let me tell you about when I first heard this phrase used. I was visiting my friend Sarah's family for the first time, and I was being really polite and formal. I was sitting up straight on the edge of the couch, waiting to be offered everything. Sarah's mom noticed I looked uncomfortable and said, "Oh, honey, make yourself at home. Grab whatever you need from the kitchen, put your feet up, and just relax." It was such a warm way to make me feel welcome. For example, when someone visits your house, you might say, "Please make yourself at home. The bathroom is down the hall and feel free to get some water from the kitchen." You might hear something like, "Thanks for letting me stay over tonight." Of course. Make yourself at home. There are extra towels in the closet if you need them. Here's another one. "I love coming to your place because you always tell me to make yourself at home, and I actually feel like I can relax here." This is such a friendly, welcoming phrase that shows you care about someone's comfort. Have you ever had someone say this to you? It feels really nice, doesn't it? Let me know in the comments if you've ever used this expression with your friends or family. Number 2, who knows? This expression is what we say when we don't know the answer to something, or when we think something is uncertain or unpredictable. It's a casual way to say, "I don't know," or "nobody can tell for sure." Sometimes we also use it when we think something might be possible, even if we're not sure. The great thing about "who knows" is that it's much more conversational than just saying, "I don't know." It also suggests that maybe nobody knows the answer, not just you. It makes the uncertainty feel more normal and less like you should be embarrassed about not knowing something. I remember when my cousin was trying to decide whether to move to a new city for a job. We were talking about whether she'd like living there, and she said, "I've never been there before, so who knows? Maybe I'll love it, maybe I'll hate it. I guess I won't find out until I try." It was the perfect way to express that uncertainty about the future. For example, if someone asks you, "Do you think it'll rain tomorrow?" you could respond, "Who knows? The weather has been so unpredictable lately." You might hear something like, "I wonder if that new restaurant will be good." Who knows? Let's try it and find out. Let's take this one. My little brother wants to be a famous singer when he grows up. Well, who knows? He's got a great voice, so maybe he will. This expression is perfect for those moments when you just can't predict what will happen. Do you think you could use this in your daily conversations? I bet there are lots of situations where who knows fits perfectly. Number 3, couldn't be better. This phrase is how we express that something is absolutely perfect or going extremely well. When someone asks how you're doing or how something is going, and you say, couldn't be better, you're saying it's the best it could possibly be. It's a very positive and enthusiastic response. This expression works because it's saying that if you tried to make things better, you couldn't do it because they're already at the highest level of goodness. It's like saying, this is as good as it gets, but in a happy way. I'll never forget when my neighbor used this phrase. She had just retired after working for 30 years, and she was starting to travel and spend time with her grandchildren. I asked her how retirement was going, and she said with this huge smile, "Oh, it couldn't be better. I'm sleeping in every morning, I'm seeing my family more, and next week I'm going to visit my sister in California." You could just hear the joy in her voice. For example, if someone asks, "How's your new job going?" you might answer, "It couldn't be better. I love my coworkers, the work is interesting, and I get to work from home twice a week." People often say something like, "How was your vacation?" Couldn't be better. The weather was perfect, the food was amazing, and we had such a relaxing time. Here's another one. How are you feeling after your surgery? Well, I'm healing fast and the pain is almost gone, so I'd say it couldn't be better. This is such a wonderful phrase to use when you want to share good news or show that you're really happy about something. Have you ever felt like something in your life couldn't be better? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Number 4, I'm not cut out for this. This expression means that you don't have the right skills, personality, or natural ability for something. When you say, "I'm not cut out for this," you're admitting that something just isn't a good fit for who you are or what you're good at. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just being honest about your strengths and weaknesses. The phrase comes from the idea of cutting fabric to make clothes. If fabric isn't cut out properly for a specific pattern, the clothes won't fit right. So when we say we're not cut out for something, we mean we don't have the right shape or qualities for that particular thing. I remember my friend Jake trying to learn how to cook fancy meals. He burned everything, forgot ingredients, and got stressed every time he was in the kitchen. After ruining an expensive piece of fish, he threw his hands up and said, "You know what? I'm just not cut out for this. I think I'll stick to ordering takeout and making sandwiches." He wasn't being negative about himself, he was just being realistic about his skills. For example, someone might say, "I tried to be a salesperson, but I'm too shy and I don't like pressuring people to buy things. I'm just not cut out for this kind of work." You might hear something like, "I thought I wanted to be a nurse, but I realized I can't handle seeing people in pain all day. I'm not cut out for this job." Imagine this. "My parents want me to be a lawyer like them, but I hate arguing and I'm terrible at public speaking. I'm not cut out for this career." It takes wisdom to know what you're not good at, and this phrase helps you express that in a natural way. Is there something you've tried that you realized you weren't cut out for? Share your story in the comments. Number 5, I'm feeling a little worn out. This expression means you're tired, exhausted, or feeling like you need rest. When you're worn out, it's like you've been used so much that you need time to recharge. It's a gentle way to say you're tired without sounding dramatic or complaining too much. The phrase comes from the idea that when something gets worn out, like old shoes or clothes, they've been used so much that they're not in good condition anymore. When we feel worn out, it means we've been active or working so much that we need to rest and recover. I remember my mom using this phrase all the time when I was growing up. She worked full-time and took care of 3 kids, and at the end of long days, she'd sit down on the couch and say, "I'm feeling a little worn out today. Can you kids play quietly for a bit while I rest?" It was her nice way of telling us she needed a break without making us feel bad. For example, after a long day at work, you might tell your family, "I'm feeling a little worn out. Would it be okay if we ordered pizza instead of cooking tonight?" You might hear something like, "How are you doing with your new exercise routine?" "Well, it's great, but I'm feeling a little worn out. I think I need to take a rest day tomorrow." Let's take this one. "I've been studying for exams all week, and I'm feeling a little worn out. I think I need to take a break and watch a movie." This is such a useful phrase because it's honest but not too dramatic. Everyone gets tired sometimes, and this is a polite way to express that. Have you ever felt worn out from something? What made you feel that way? Number 6, it adds up. This phrase can mean 2 different things. First, it can literally mean that, when you add numbers together, they equal a certain amount. But more commonly, we use it to say that small things, when combined, become something bigger or more significant. It can also mean that something makes sense when you think about all the pieces together. The beauty of this expression is that it works for both money and situations. You can talk about how small expenses add up to a big bill, or how small actions add up to big results, or how different clues add up to help you understand something. My friend Maria told me a perfect story about this. She was wondering why she never had money left at the end of the month, even though she didn't think she spent much. Then she started writing down every purchase. Coffee here, lunch there, a magazine, some candy. She said, "I couldn't believe it. I thought I was only spending a few dollars here and there, but when I looked at everything together, it really adds up. I was spending almost $200 a month on little things." For example, you might say, "I know each donation is only $5, but when everyone contributes, it really adds up and we can help a lot of people." People often say something like, "She's been coming to work late, leaving early, and making mistakes on reports." When you put it all together, it adds up to a pretty serious problem. Here's another one. "At first, I didn't understand why my friend was acting strange, but then I remembered she's been stressed about work, her mom is sick, and she just broke up with her boyfriend." When you think about it all, it adds up. This expression is so useful for explaining how small things create big effects. Can you think of something in your life where little things have added up to something bigger? Number 7. Look on the bright side. This phrase means to try to see the positive or good parts of a bad situation. When someone tells you to look on the bright side, they're encouraging you to focus on what's good instead of what's bad. It's about finding hope and optimism even when things aren't going well. The phrase uses the idea of light and darkness. The bright side is like the sunny, light side of something, while the negative parts would be the dark side. When we look on the bright side, we're choosing to face toward the light and hope instead of the shadows and problems. I remember when my sister lost her job last year. She was really upset and worried about money. I was trying to comfort her and I said, "I know this is scary, but try to look on the bright side. You hated that job anyway, and now you have time to find something you really love. Plus, you'll get unemployment benefits for a while." At first, she was annoyed with me, but later she admitted it helped her feel better and more hopeful. For example, if your friend's car breaks down, you might say, "I know it's expensive to fix, but look on the bright side. At least it happened near your house and not on the highway in the middle of nowhere." You might hear something like, "I can't believe it's raining on my wedding day. Look on the bright side, rain is supposed to be good luck for weddings, and your photos will have that romantic, cozy feeling." Imagine this. "I'm so disappointed I didn't get into my first choice college. Look on the bright side, the school that accepted you has an amazing program for your major, and it costs way less money." This phrase is perfect for helping friends and family feel better about difficult situations. Have you ever had someone tell you to look on the bright side? Did it help you feel better? Let me know in the comments. Number 8, we're on the same page. This expression means that two or more people understand each other and agree about something. When you're on the same page with someone, you both have the same information, the same understanding, and usually the same opinion about something. It's like you're both reading from the same book. The phrase comes from the literal idea of people reading the same page in a book, so they're seeing the same information at the same time. When we use it in conversation, it means we're mentally in the same place about a topic. I love this expression because it happened to me just last week. My roommate and I were planning a surprise party for our friend, and we kept having the same ideas at the same time. I'd say, "Maybe we should get chocolate cake," and she'd say, "I was just thinking the same thing." After this happened several times, she laughed and said, "It's so great that we're on the same page about this party. It makes planning so much easier." For example, in a work meeting, someone might say, "Before we continue, let's make sure we're all on the same page about the deadline. The project needs to be finished by Friday, right?" People often say something like, "I want to make sure we're on the same page about dinner tonight. You're bringing the salad and I'm making pasta, correct?" Let's take this one. My husband and I are totally on the same page about saving money for vacation. We both agreed to pack lunch every day and skip buying coffee out. This expression is so helpful for making sure everyone understands each other clearly. Do you think you could use this phrase when you're making plans with friends or family? It's a great way to avoid confusion. Number 9, I saw that coming. This phrase means you predicted or expected something to happen before it actually happened. When you say, "I saw that coming," you're saying that you weren't surprised by something because there were signs that it would happen. It shows that you were paying attention and you understood the situation well. Sometimes people use this phrase when something bad happens that they expected, like, "I saw that coming," when a couple breaks up after fighting all the time. But it can also be used for good things, like when someone gets a promotion that they clearly deserved. My coworker used this phrase perfectly last month. There was this guy at our office who was always coming in late, taking long breaks, and not finishing his work on time. One day, we heard he got fired, and my coworker just nodded and said, "Honestly, I saw that coming from a mile away. He wasn't even trying to do a good job anymore." She wasn't being mean. She was just pointing out that the signs were all there. For example, if your friend has been studying really hard for months and gets accepted to a great graduate school, you might say, "I'm so happy for you, but I totally saw that coming. You've been working so hard and your grades are amazing." You might hear something like, "Did you hear that Sarah and Mike are getting married?" "Really? Well, I guess I saw that coming. They've been together for 5 years and they just bought a house together." Here's another one. "The restaurant on Main Street is closing down. I saw that coming. Every time I walked by, it was empty, and the food wasn't very good. This phrase shows that you're observant and good at understanding situations. Have you ever predicted something that later happened exactly like you thought? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Number 10. I'll cut to the chase. This expression means you're going to skip the small talk or extra details and get straight to the main point. When someone says, "I'll cut to the chase," they're telling you they're about to give you the important information without wasting time on other stuff. This phrase actually comes from old movies, especially action movies and westerns. Movies often had long scenes building up to an exciting chase scene, which was the most important and exciting part. So, cutting to the chase meant skipping all the setup and getting straight to the exciting, important part. My boss uses this phrase all the time in meetings. Last week, we were supposed to discuss several different topics, but we were running out of time. She said, "Okay, everyone, I know we have a lot to cover, but let me cut to the chase. The most important thing we need to decide today is whether we're going to hire 2 new people or wait until next quarter." It was so helpful because she made sure we focused on what really mattered. For example, if you're telling a long story but you notice your friend looks impatient, you might say, "Okay, let me cut to the chase. I got the job." People often say something like, "I could give you all the details about why I'm calling, but I'll cut to the chase. Can you help me move this weekend?" Imagine this. "I know you're busy, so I'll cut to the chase. Would you like to go to the concert with me tomorrow night? I have an extra ticket." This is such a useful phrase for being respectful of other people's time and making sure your communication is clear and direct. Do you ever wish people would cut to the chase when they're talking to you? Which conversations do you think would benefit from this approach? Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 super useful expressions that native English speakers use all the time. We learned "make yourself at home" for making people feel welcome, "who knows" for expressing uncertainty, and "couldn't be better" for sharing good news. We talked about "I'm not cut out for this" when something isn't right for you, "I'm feeling a little worn out" when you're tired, and "it adds up" for when small things become big things. We also covered "look on the bright side" for staying positive. We're on the same page for agreeing with someone, "I saw that coming" for predicting things, and "I'll cut to the chase" for getting to the point quickly. These expressions will make your English sound so much more natural and native-like. Remember to practice them in real conversations, and don't be afraid to use them even if you're not perfect at first. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Are there any that you think you'll start using right away? Let me know in the comments which ones you found most useful, and tell me if you've heard any of these before in movies, TV shows, or real conversations. If this video helped you learn something new, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow I'll be back with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that will help you sound even more like a native English speaker. There's always more to learn, and I'm excited to help you on this journey. Take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every day you practice, you're getting better and better. I'm so proud of you for working hard to improve your language skills. See you tomorrow.